Okay, good morning. I think I'm set up now. Okay, so today we have well, I like this sketch. Sometimes you just look at a sketch and you decide whether you like it or not. I like, and when I looked at the sketch, I already had some ideas for it. So I've gone ahead and I've created my card base. I wanted to use some blues and greens this morning. So I have my Night of Navy card base, just a regular 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4 to make a standard fold card. And then there's this piece of 2 by 5.5. So this could have been a piece of DSP. I decided to pull in an embossed piece. This is a flowery embossing folder. This one happens to be called Ornate Floral. It's a really pretty embossing folder. It looks great as a background, and you can also sponge on top of it or brayer on top of the actual embossing folder, and then you'd get a bit of color on here, which would be really pretty. But I love the stark white of that, so I'm going to use that as my spine piece there. And then what I thought I would do is I need to cut a piece of 2 3/4 by 3 3/4, and I'm going to just stamp a design. The stamp set this morning I'm using is called Pretty Perennials. I just love it, particularly for this happy mail. And I got a card in the mail the other day from a fellow demonstrator. It was a thank you card. Demonstrators are a unique brand. I had sent her a birthday card and she sent me a thank you card for her birthday card. It's kind of fun that way. Anyway, so on the back, the flap of the envelope, she had stamped Happy Mail. I thought that was such a cool idea. And I have to remember to do that for some of my cards. So this has got some really nice little bits of flowers that you can put together. It's got this main flower here, and there's a set of dies that goes with it. So you can stamp the flowers, and then you can cut them out with these dies, and then you can do some layering. And then they have these really cool dies that create sort of like an outline of the petals, which is fun. So there's lots of different flowers. If you like building flowers, this is a great set. So you've got some stems here with some berries here, lots of little leaves, larger leaves, smaller leaves. And I love this, happy for you, happy birthday, happy, okay, you make me happy, sending lots of happy. It's just a happy, happy stamp set called Pretty Perennials. And I don't think this is carrying over, so you need to get this before the end of May. Okay, not the end of May, the end of April, before our new catalog goes live. Our new annual catalog goes live May the 4th. Okay, so I think I've told you the right information. I'm going to just double check that, and I might put it in the video in the description when I post this, so that you can rewatch it. Anyway, okay, so I need a piece of 2 3/4 by 3 3/4 here. So I'm going to grab a piece of Whisper White, and then I'm going to stamp a design on there. So 3 3/4 by 2 3/4. So this is our stamped piece, or piece that we're going to be stamping on. I've just got a piece of scrap. I'm going to get a new scrap piece, just so I don't get my grid paper all mucky. or get ink on my silicone mat, because then it transfers onto something else, which is never good. All right, now let me just decide. I think I'm going to cut out some of these flowers to put in the centerpiece. Excuse me, the centerpiece, and I might do these flowers. I might do this one, and then I might build up some flowers on here. And then I'll do a couple of leaves. Okay, so let's first stamp the design. Let's get organized here. We'll take some of this, maybe this one is going to be this circle one, the larger one, and then I'm going to build with some smaller flowers. Let's just see who's watching me this morning. Barbara's here. Good morning, Barbara. And Lena is watching. Nice for you to join me. So let me just put some of these small stamps on some blocks. So there's one, and we're just going to do some random stamping. Have either of you done a, what they call a one-sheet wonder? Don't you hate when that happens, when your hair falls out? Let's see, let's do some of these little leaves. Because what I'm going to do here is the same that you would do for a one-sheet wonder. The only difference is the one-sheet wonder is typically done on, of course, a much larger sheet of cardstock. Let's see, what else can I put in here? I'm just going to do some random stuff in here. Let me think. Maybe I'll do a couple of leaves in here too, bigger leaves. Barbara, you've not done a one-sheet wonder yet. They are lots of fun. Let's do some of these too. I like to have a lot of selection. Now, when you do a one-sheet wonder, and we're going to call this a mini one-sheet wonder, the only difference is with this one, we're not cutting up the paper. So with a one-sheet wonder, you make a design on an 8.5 by 11 or a 12 by 12, and then you cut it up to create pieces for a card. All right, let's see how we go here. So I'm going to do Night of Navy, and I'm going to bring in, let's see, I think Garden Green looks, oh, you know what? No, I'm going to use Granny Apple Green. Granny Apple Green and Night of Navy are gorgeous together. And I'm going to bring in another blue. I think I'm going to bring in Balmy Blue here. Okay, so let's start with some flowers that are balmy blue. So what you want to do is you want to stamp your largest flowers, and I usually do 1 or 3. Okay, and you want to stamp these also off the edge of your paper. So I'll get to that in a second. And you will also start, I think I said this, you start with your largest images, because the smaller images you can use to fill in the spaces. So here I'm going to go off the edge in some places. I'm going to fill in some more of these blue flowers. See how I'm going off the edge of the paper? 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's just do one more. You want odd numbers. That's the rule of thumb, is to do odd numbers. Okay, now let's do some little leaves here. We could bring in another green too. Actually, I need one more green leaf. I forgot to do my third one. Here. And let's pull in some of these smaller leaves. Let's use another green. Maybe we'll bring in, let's bring in Pear Pizzazz. This is another very pretty green color. So we'll do one here, 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 and we'll do one coming off the edge of this paper here, here. Okay, and now we can fill in with some of the smaller images. And I might bring in, let me think, maybe I should bring in a yellow. Let's bring in a yellow. I love crushed curry. That's a good yellow. Just to do some of these centerpieces. I'm just going to throw these in here and there. Three, 4, 5. Okay, and maybe we'll bring in another yellow. Let's see. Let's bring in let's bring in Mango Melody. That's a nice bright color. Whoops. We'll bring in Mango Melody, and we'll do this tiny little one. One, two, three. We'll fill in 2 more spots here. We'll fill in this one, and we'll fill in over here. Whoa. Okay, so there is our one sheet wonder. All right, let's see. Okay, so let's bring in our, now I've got this gorgeous leaf that I think would be fun to cut out. Look at that, it's just gorgeous. So let's bring in our, put this to the side, and let's bring in our, get myself organized over here. Here's our card base and our strip. So this is going to go like this, and I might offset that from the corner. Or from the side, sorry. I could butt it right up against it, or I could offset it a little bit. Okay, and then this is going to go in here like that. It's very simple card to put together, really. And then I might, yeah, let's do some of these circles. Let's get all these stamps out of the way now. Let's figure out. So here's this flower here. So let me see. Let's put this on a block. That's not quite big enough. Let's get a larger block. You don't want your stamps hanging over the edges of your blocks. Okay, and let's grab Do I have any more Whisper White here? I've got so many tiny scraps. I don't think I have anything bigger. That's very vanilla. I don't want that. Oh, here's a piece here. Okay, so we have to decide what color we want this big flower. We're going to put some of these on. I want to cut a couple of these on. So maybe I'll start with the blue and then put on some of the darker pieces on top. Let's see how this works out. So we're going to stamp this. Oh, let me get my silicone mat out. When you have a photopolymer stamp that's, you know, it's fully covered, you want to make sure you stamp on your silicone mat or your foam mat. Okay, now this will cut out, and I'm not sure how well it lines up. Let's just give it a twist all the way around until I see that it matches pretty good. Some stamp sets, oh, I think that's it right there. Look at that. Okay, that's perfect. And then I'm going to go and grab, I'm going to cut this one out, and I might cut this smaller one out so that I can layer them. And I also want to, let's do some extra leaves. So let's stamp So I wanted to show you, this is our occasions catalog. Yeah, let me just clarify that. This runs until January to June. So this actually runs till the end of May 31st. This will be available. And this is on page 31, this Pretty Perennials. So you can see, here's another example of background stamping on here. This is a great stamp set for just simple stamping. Okay, and here's some examples of the images that are stamped and then cut out and layered. You see that? Yeah, it's a very, very pretty, and these are all of the dies here. It's a very, very pretty set. Make some great birthday cards. Okay, so let's, now there is also, it's called two-step stamping. So there are also the outlines of some of the images. So for example, I could stamp over these leaves as an example, just to give them some texture. See that? You see that? Gives it some texture. Okay. So we're going to cut this out. Now I'm just going to go and grab some Night of Navy, and I'm going to pull in maybe that Pear Pizzazz. I'm also going to use my mini Stamp and Cut Emboss machine. Okay, so let's cut this first. So we'll bring in the little mini. And I've got my little flag here, so let's position the flower die. And then we could get out. Now, often when you get a floral type of stamp set, they will give you two dies so that you can cut two out at the same time, especially for small pieces. So I can put this one on here and this one on here. And I'm just going to grab my other tape flags. It's great if you can do multiple runs at once. And the other thing to remember with this mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss, your paper's, you know, it's only about 3 or 3.5 inches wide. Okay, so let's get our plates. We need our #1 plate, which is our base plate. And then we need our 2 cutting plates. So I like to use one of these acrylic plates to cut on, and the other one is the top. Okay, so now I can slide this in. And I can put my other plate on top. And I'm not making the plates even at the end. I'm sort of staggering them so that it runs through easier. You don't have to struggle with it. So we'll run that through like that. Yeah, these tapes are great because they don't rip your paper. Okay, so there's our flower. And there's 2 of our leaves. And I'll just do the one more leaf. Let's pull this back through. We'll do one more leaf. This one has the tape on it already. So let's just line that up like that. And we'll run it through. I love cutting out all these little pieces and then assembling it. Okay, so we're done with that piece of cardstock, I think. Okay, now I wanted to cut out this beautiful leaf here. And check this out. Look at that. Now I wanted to cut something else out. Yes, I wanted to cut out also some Night of Navy to layer on top of that flower. Okay. So let's create another sandwich. Stick that in there. Let's hope this this cardstock is wide enough. And we're going to do this smaller one on here. There's our flowers. Okay, and I think we might need a little center on here. Let's see. Is there a die for a center? I believe there's a couple of different centers on here. Well, let's see. Oh, this is kind of, yeah, there's this solid one here. So what we could do is stamp Here, this solid one here. Let's just clean it. I'm going to stamp this in, do I only use yellow on here? I can't remember. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp this in crushed curry. I still need my machine. So I'm going to stamp this in crushed curry on a piece of white, I think. You could also stamp it on crushed curry. There we go. Okay, I think we're done with all of our cutting out. So let's move this out of the way. All right, so now we're ready to build our flower. Okay, so let's get all of our little pieces and separate all of our dies. These are going to go back on the card. Get rid of all these bits of scrap over here. Okay. So this is going to be our center point. Let's pull this back in, bring back our card. So I think I can start gluing this stuff down now. So because this is an embossed piece, I like to use my Tombow glue. I'm going to pull it out from the side like that. And then this piece I'm going to glue on here like so. Now I'm thinking about putting a greeting on, but I haven't quite decided where or how I'm going to do that. So let's build up this beautiful flower here, which is going to come down here. Okay, so let's, we had 3 leaves here, and we had 2 of these. So these are going to be pretty cool. You see how they layer on top? Okay, so I'm just going to put a bit of glue. I think I'm just going to put a bit of glue in the center here. And I'll put a bit of glue in the center of this one. Then I've got this yellow center to pop in the middle. Like so. And then I will place my flower, or my leaves, I should say, underneath. So I'm just going to put a tiny bit of glue on the end. And put one here. So I like to put 2 close together. And then I like to put one sort of on the opposite side. So these 2 will go close together like so. Okay. And then the third one I will put not quite opposite, but I will put one you know what I mean, not quite opposite, but offset a little bit like that. Okay. And there are, there's your flower. Now I'm going to pop this up on a dimensional. Those are my minis. Let's pull out a regular sized one. We might do more than one dimensional for this, I think. We'll do 3. All right, there's our flower. Okay, so our flower, I think I want the leaves on the, excuse me, on the white bit. So I think I'm going to put that right there like that. Okay, and yeah, I might do, well, let me see. I was going to do this. Oh, I like that a lot. Yes, let's add this on here. So I'm going to do my Tombow glue and a Q-tip. Because this is, make sure I get the right side. Yeah, this is the back side. It's kind of rough. And then I'm going to use my Q-tip and just dab glue on here. Okay, like that. And let's set this aside. And we'll slip the stem underneath the flower here. And we'll put this on like that. Whoa, almost ripped it. That wasn't good. Okay, so there is our card, and I don't know whether it needs a greeting or not. What do you think, ladies? If I do that big happy and then cut it out, it's going to take up, I think, way too much. It's going to hide the card. I could do this small... I could do happy on the inside, and I could say sending lots of, let's just do something and see if it's going to work out. So I'm going to do sending lots of, let's put that on a block. So sending lots of happy, I like that. Okay, and let's do this in, let's stamp this in Night of Navy. Now I should have lots of strips of paper in my scrap stash here. Yeah, here we go. And let's do Night of Navy, because it'll really stand out. And then we have to decide where we're going to put it. Okay, so sending lots of. Okay. So I'm just going to, I'm going to just keep it, I'm going to keep it square, I think. Oh, I think I just smudged it. Oh dear. Yeah, I should have waited for that ink to dry. That was silly. So we start again. Yeah, the ink's dry. Oh, and I just put my finger right on that. Look at that. So I keep a little stack of, I cut up these little pieces of paper towel and keep them in my drawer. That's how I clean my acrylic blocks, with that paper towel and alcohol, just straight alcohol. So let's try that again. And it's hard to see white on white. So let's pull back. I've got another silicone mat. I have two silicone mats because if I've got glue on one, I want to avoid using that. There, see, I can see to line it up a lot better. Okay, so before I play with that, I'm going to let that dry. So in the meantime, I'm going to grab a piece of Whisper White to go on the inside of the card. So for the inside of the card, what I think I'm going to do, excuse me, is stamp that happy with a few flowers around it. Okay, now let's orient this the right way. So let's get out that, and I think I'm going to do it in, I might do it in maybe this nice bright yellow, because happy also represents sunshine. Okay, so let's pull out happy. And we'll put this on this block here. And let's ink this up. This is going to be really pretty on the inside, I think. And I'll just do some of the pale blue flowers. So let's put this in here like that. Look how pretty that is. What's kind of cool is when your ink pads are not, you know, they're starting to lose the ink. So there's some dark spots and some light spots. And so when you stamp, you get this, what's called an ombre look. See that? How it's kind of light and then it goes to dark, which is just a happy accident. Okay, let's pull out some of these little blue flowers here. And we'll stamp some blue flowers around here. This makes it very happy. We'll do 3 flowers. Then we'll do those little itty bitty tiny leaves. We'll do this in this beautiful Granny Apple Green. It's one of my favorite. Well, green is my favorite color, so it's very hard for me to say what's my favorite green because I love all shades of green. So we'll do some leaves here. Look how pretty that is. And maybe we'll put some little centers in the flowers. So we'll bring in the Night of Navy. So I enjoy, I really enjoy doing the inside of my card almost as much as the outside of the card. Look how pretty that is. If I do so say myself. Okay, so we're gonna wait for that to dry a bit before I turn it upside down and put glue on. All right, let's go back to our sending lots of. I might be sticking it like right there. So let me just again trim off. I know I could use scissors. There goes my voice again. But I have a mini trimmer and it makes a really nice straight cut. Because, you know, even when you cut with your scissors, it can be a little crooked. Now we have to just decide where to put it. kind of like it on top. So let's get some dimensionals. I'll get my mini dimensionals out. And let's put some of these on here. Yeah, just going to center it right in there. Here we go. So sending lots of happy, oh my gosh. All right. Here we go. Yeah, you want to make sure your ink is dry before you start rubbing on top of it. All right, there is the card sketch for this Monday. So again, I hope you will make one and post a photo, and I promise now at the end of this month I'll be doing 4 prizes. I know I'm really far behind on that, but I'm wanting to give you lots of opportunity. I see, Barbara, that you did post one of your cards. It was beautiful, so thank you. So if you post a photo of your card in the comment section of this post, and you can go back to all of our posts since the beginning of January, and you can follow that card sketch and take a picture and put that card in. And then at the end of April, maybe that last April of the month, or maybe the first week of May, I will do all of the draws. I've been collecting embellishment packages to give out, just to thank you for participating. Okay, ladies, go and have a super day and a super week. I will be going live again on Thursday night at 8 p.m. if you'd like to join in. Thanks. Bye for now.